Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avgardian welcoming you back to Tabletop Simulator, and on today's menu is Sushi Go Party. Get it? Get it, get it, get it? It is a game designed by Phil Walker Harding of Game Right Games, and you may notice, hey, wait a minute, Avi, isn't that name familiar? It's the same guy who designed Summer Camp. I did not plan that when I picked these two games. I kind of wish I did, because then I could take the credit for it, but I can't. And that is where we are today. Sushi Go Party is a game based on... It's a game that really has two mechanisms, drafting and set collection. In a game of Sushi Go Party, there are exactly 8 cards in the deck. Well, 8 types of cards in the deck. There's always going to be nigiri, and there's going to be 1 roll, 2 specials, 3 appetizers, and a dessert. So let us, my dear friends, begin by actually creating our decks. And we have Uramaki. Uramaki scored during the round. The first person to get 10 rolls gets 8 points. The second person to get 10 rolls gets 5 points. And the third person to get 10 Uramaki gets 2 points. This could be the exact same player. One player can score all 3 times. So that's, even in a 2-player game, it's important to remember that. Next on our list are the special menu. When you play a menu, you instantly draw 4 cards, play 1 more, and discard the rest. So it's kind of an interesting way to get a surprise card out of there that only you get access to. Next we have Soy Sauce. The person with the most different colored cards at the end of the round is going to get 4 points. Pretty easy. I believe Soy Sauce refers to the actual color of the card, not the color of the top. Yeah, it's based on the backgrounds. Okay. Next we have Tofu. Tofu is an interesting appetizer. If you have 1 tofu, it's 2 points. If you have 2 tofu, it's 6 points. If you have any more than 6, they are worth not a thing. Next we have Miso Soup. Miso Soup is worth 3 points unless someone else also played Miso Soup that same turn, in which case you have to discard it. Next we have Eel. Eel number 1 loses 3 points. Eel number 2 is 7 points, and eel number 4,398,275,861 is worth only 7 points. Any eel beyond the first 2 is worth nothing, basically. Finally, dessert. At the end of the game, whoever has the most dessert is going to get themselves 6 points, and whoever has the fewest gets nothing. There is no penalty in a 2-player game, which is what we're playing today. So, we need to go ahead and create the deck. The nigiri are the only thing that's in there now. We're going to make the deck. And we're going to add the desserts. In the first round of the game, there are 5 desserts in this deck, and we'll gradually add the remaining desserts over time. I'm going to shuffle. And now let's talk about the actual way the game works. There are 3 rounds of Sushi Go Party. Each player gets 10 cards. In a 2-player game, of course. And the round ends when all 20 cards have been played in some way or another. Then you do any scoring, except for desserts, which score at the end of the game, or uramaki, which always score when they're played, or if nobody gets to 10 for some reason, then there's a bonus for the person who has any unclaimed plays. So, we're going to draw exactly 10 cards. Well, 9 and 1, because you can't draw 10 cards. And the first part of the game is always simultaneous. You're going to pick a card and you're going to play it. I'm going to start off here by playing a tofu. Now, as you play the game more, you'll get to see what's in the other hand, and then you'll be able to react accordingly. So that is a decision that red made. What is white going to do? Okay. I think he's going to start the Uramaki train. And he's going to go ahead and play this card. So, we then reveal our cards. That's 4 Uramaki, which is nothing, and 1 Tofu. We then switch hands. Which is kind of a pain in the butt to do with just 2 people, but we'll get through it. So I'm going to put these in the orange hand for now. I'm going to take those, and then all these go in the red hand. Or the orange hand, sorry. Then they transfer into the red hand. There we go. Oh my god. And done. Okay. And we're going to flip those back over. And now white gets to play the second card. Oh dear. So now white is thinking, and he's like, uh-oh, all the Uramaki are only in one of the 2 hands. Which means, oh dear, that is going to be awfully difficult in order to match that. That's alright though. So white is going to predict that red's not going to bother, isn't going to play the Miso Soup because he probably would rather play either a second Tofu, if he can get one, or another Uramaki. So he's going to go ahead and actually play the Miso Soup. We're gonna take the risk. And he's going to play the second Tofu. Because the sooner he gets the second Tofu out, the better. So we reveal our cards. The Miso Soup gets to stay. And white now has precisely 2 Tofu. Very nice. These cards are going to move over to the orange hand. These cards over here. These go on the scoring track. I don't know why. This is just because I don't want to mess with losing the cards again. And then we're going to keep going. So, I now know that if I put this Uramaki, then red gets nothing, and that's fine. But it's only worth 3 Uramaki, which means even if red does play it, it's still worth nothing. Because only one person gets it if nobody gets to 10. So there's really no incentive for me to bother with that. Oh, it's salmon, egg, and squid. That's right. Yeah, the squid nigiri is flat up worth 3 points, and there's nothing he can do about that. So, yeah, I'm going to play that. I definitely don't want to play another Tofu, so he's also going to play a squid nigiri. So we're going to flip and flip. And we then exchange hands again. Here we go. If we put it like that, then it's less likely to end up like being launched into the nether sphere. There we go. What have you done, game? And then just draw them. Thank you. Okay. I was going to switch between red and white because it doesn't really matter. Now, the interesting problem right now is that I believe there's only 2 eels, and they're both in the same hand. But as long as there's only 2 eels, there is no incentive for somebody to play the eel and not gain from it. I am going to go ahead and play the uramaki. No, I'm going to play the miso soup. And we're going to see how that turns out for us. So, he's going to play the menu. It kind of says nobody tried it yet, but I guess where it's happening now. The miso soup is going to happen. Now, this is important. If I draw and play a miso soup, then he gets nothing. So we're going to draw 4 cards, and I get to play one of them. Another uramaki would be awfully good. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. And now he can get to 10 uramaki. These all get discarded. Okie doke, my friends. It's time to switch hands. Okay. White plays first. White's going to instantly play this. Easy choice. And I mean, it's only 4 points, whereas the salmon nigiri is worth 2 points. So eventually someone's gonna have... No, I'm gonna play miso soup. Because I think it's the last one in the deck. Well, at least it's the last one in the 2 hands that we have, so I don't really have to worry about that. And he already played his cards. So, red is now at 11. That makes him first to 10. He discards and instantly scores 8 points for white. Nicely done. Red gets to play his miso soup, and that's going to be worth some points at the end of the round. We then move cards over. And there we go. So, white's best play here is 1 tofu, and I'm going to explain why. If red plays another tofu, they're hurting themselves. And it's not worth it to hurt yourself and get 0 points for your tofu, just deny 6 points to red. So he's going to play the tofu, reasonably certain that red won't mess with him. Meanwhile, so there's an interesting dilemma here. 2 eel is worth 7 points. That cannot be denied. 1 eel is minus 3 points. Is it worthwhile to white to play an eel if red plays one just to stop them from getting the 7 points? And that's the kind of interesting, surprising strategy that's involved in this game. Because it absolutely is, right? Thinking, how is my opponent going to react? Really, that's an interesting element here. Because me losing 3 points is probably worth you not having 7 points. But the eel is worth points even if he doesn't play it. Because if he gets the soy sauce, which he's going to get next turn, he's going to guarantee himself 4 points. Because there's no way he can match number of colors, so... We're going to go flip, flip. And... Johnny Swappykins. I will never use that name again, I'm sorry. So, now we're getting to the point where we have to decide what card we want to play. And honestly, the soy sauce is the most sensible card to play. Because it's a guaranteed 4 points. None of the other cards are worth 4 points. And I don't want to play the tofu. So I'm going to play that. And that ends Red's play. White's going to pick a card here. They could play an eel just to fuck with Red. Yeah, because... Yeah, there's no reason not to do it. Just to mess with Red. So he's gonna play the eel. Even though it hurts him too. And then he sees that Red played the soy sauce and he feels really silly right now. But that's how it is sometimes. That is the price we must all pay for sushi-related glory. Okay. So, White's definitely going to play this tofu. There's no reason not to do it. And, oh my god. Red is going to play the salmon nigiri just because it's worth more than the egg. Flip, flip, done. Oh, sorry. Here. The hands are small enough now I know which cards are which. What did you do, game? Oh my god. One of the hands disappeared. Game, what are you doing to me? I'm gonna rewind time. And again. There we go. So I'm going to put these two cards over here. Take these two. And these two. I'm going to play an egg nigiri because I don't have a choice. I can't choose to play no card. That is never an option to you. And Red's going to play another salmon nigiri. Since they both have the exact same card, I'm just going to put them out without swapping. Like, they're both going to play another egg nigiri. And we have concluded the first round of Sushi Party Go. Or Sushi Go Party, rather. So now we're going to score points, beginning with Red. Red gets 6 points for his tofu. He has exactly 2. He is going to get 2, 4, 5, 8 for his nigiri. That puts him at 14. He gets 6 for his miso soup. That puts him up to 20. He gets 4 for the soy sauce because he only has 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the soy sauce itself, so he doesn't count. And then he loses 3 points because of the eel. Oh, sorry, I didn't give him his 4 for the soy sauce yet. So 4. And then 1, 2, 3. White is going to lose 3 for the eel. 1, 2, 3. White then gains 6 for the tofu. Up to 11. 3 for their miso soup. 1, 2, 3. And then 3, 4, 5 in that. So, it is 21 for Red, 19 for White. And... sorry, this is now going to be round 2. We're going to hit cleanup round. No, everything gets discarded. Like, you don't keep them forever, right? Am I just being an absolute potato? Or is the thing messing up here? Yeah, all cards except for dessert cards. Yeah, everything gets sorted out and brought back over. There are exactly 59 cards, as there should be. And we're going to add some more dessert. This is a valid deck. Yeah, the deck is valid. You're just being weird, game. Okay, so that's all the cards there. In the second round, I think we add 3. Yeah, 3. 1, 2, 3. And a second round begins. So you always are basically playing with the exact same deck of cards. So you can never be quite sure what cards are going to come out. Okay. This is a pretty crappy hand. I've got to be honest with you. Getting an eel out nice and early actually makes a bit of sense because there's nothing else in this hand that really jumps out at me. Uramaki is just such a good thing to have. I just want to make sure I play the one that's worth 5. Here you go. Done. We flip. And we swap. Let's start with red. Red is going to go ballistic because now he knows that he's going to get a second eel. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to put that down and feel pretty good about himself. Yeah, I guess we're going to go for more Uramaki. Reveal. And hands get swapped. So I hope you guys are seeing how easily and smoothly this game goes, but how there's also a decent bit of strategy. Pardon me. Once you see what's in the other hands. So, unlike round 1, I have no incentive to play this eel. It would just make my life worse. But the Uramaki, on the other hand, gets me 8 points. I think I know what I'm going to do. That's 8 points. Nice. And that's going to be 8-pointeroos for white. 1. We're at 19. 19 and 8 is 27. Done. I don't know why I didn't actually play red's card, though. That was very stupid. Both sides here to play the card. We'll just say red played the Miso Soup, because that's what I was going to play anyway. So sorry about that. I know. Game ruined. Okay. So, Mr. Red. Nobody has a pudding card yet. And I know for a fact that there's only one pudding card this entire round. So if I play the pudding, I am reasonably certain that I have a good lead going into the end of the game. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play the pudding card. I think that makes sense. I think I made the right decision. I'm not convinced 100%, but I'm pretty sure I did. Meanwhile, 6 points for Tofu is great, but I'm really lagging behind in terms of end of the turn scoring. No, I will play a Tofu, because 2 Tofu is worth 6, and that's a pretty good number. So we do that. The pudding gets moved to the over here, by the way, because it doesn't count for rest of the soy sauce. That's why I made sure to move it. Just gonna go over here. So another very interesting strategy arises. All the miso is only in one hand, which means you're basically guaranteed to get 3 points if you play it. On the other hand, I'm guaranteed to get 6 points if I play this. And I think that makes more sense, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Coming over to red. 3 points is 3 points, my dudes. Yeah. So, flip and flip. And done. And we're gonna swap them cards. Oops. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, red. Again, it's all in one hand, which is this hand. I'm trying to avoid taking the eel in the hopes I can actually force white to take it. That would be very good for me. And would definitely help me out. So I'm going to go ahead and play a Miso Soup because it's all in one hand. And white's going to play the squid nigiri because why wouldn't he? White's going to swap. We're going to swap. As you can see, with the larger number of players, the game's a little bit less predictable and it's a little bit more strategic. But this is still a fun way to play the game. White's gonna say 3 points. Yes, please. And red's gonna say 2 points or 4 points. The thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna have the most colors in the end. So I think I'm gonna wait. So the beauty is anyone who plays the soy sauce triggers the scoring. The only reason that who plays the soy sauce matters is if you're tied. Then only the person who's played one can theoretically score it. But anyway, what am I talking about? That's not accurate at all. It's whoever plays it would get the bonus from it. That's stupid. I don't know why I'm being stupid, sorry. So they flip over their cards. White has to make a big brain play. They have to come up with some way to get a decent number of points right now. The soy sauce itself does count as a color, so I think them playing it gives them a reasonable chance of getting 4 points. So they're gonna do that. Done. And I play it face up, it doesn't matter. So, I know they're gonna play the Miso Soup. It's too good. It's too good to get a guaranteed 3 points. Also, note something very critical here. This really buttfucks white. They're in a lot of trouble right now. Because they have to lose points no matter what happens. Because the last 2 cards of the eel and the tofu are the one of which would cost them points. Geolegal plate egg nigiri. And then, look, white's kind of trapped here. But they're not really. If they play a third tofu, they go from getting 6 points to 0 points. Even losing 3 points is better than losing 6 points. So he's going to play the eel. He's not happy about it, but that means they get the last egg nigiri and that they get the last tofu. And we're going to add up some points now. That is going to be, for Team Red, 7 points for the eel. It's going to be 9 for the Miso Soup. That goes from 28 up to 37. They get 6 for the nigiri. So that's 37, 43. And only 2 for the tofu, up to 45. White's going to get 4 for their soy sauce. They're going to get 3 for the squid nigiri. 1, 2, 3. They're going to get 6 for their tofu, which puts them from 34 up to 40. They're going to lose 3 for their eel. 1, 2, 3. But then they're going to gain 3 for the miso soup. And they're going to get 1 for the egg nigiri. So red definitely has a decided advantage going into the third and final round of the game. It is still very much anybody's game, though. If the right cards are in the right hands at the right time, this could be a pretty different game. So everything goes back in except for the pudding. We have exactly 61 cards, and I believe the last round is 2 points. Or 2 dessert cards, and I am correct. Okay, third round time, my friends. Red's got a lead, but a lot is going to depend on how these cards are distributed. Okay, so the first thing that Red's going to notice is there's a whole crap ton of puddings in his hand. And that 6 points might matter a lot. But he's also been completely shut out of the uramaki game, not even being able to get even second or third place. He's got to get on the board with these nice and early. So he's going to go ahead and play the 4-roll uramaki card. For Team White, he sees those 3 eels in the same hand, means he's guaranteed to get 2 of them as long as he plays 1 right now, which he's going to do. Done. This hand is going to go over here for the time being. This hand goes over here. Oh, I did it again. I keep doing that. Eel and uramaki revealed. Now it is White's turn. Now, White certainly doesn't want to get shut out of the pudding game. But there's 4 cards in this hand, right? He could very easily grab it later. Whereas getting another uramaki reduces, well, at least guarantees him something at the end of the round. So he's going to do that. Red is going to play this one. We flip. Both sides picked an uramaki, which is really bad news for White because they now know that no one's going to get the 10, meaning Red's going to get 5 points at the end of the turn. That's just how it is sometimes. He's going to have to live with that. Okay, so next up, we are deep into the third round. There's an even number of puddings. If he takes at least 3 of them, he is guaranteed to get the 6 points. So he'd rather let the tofu slip through his fingers than miss out on the pudding. So he's going to play a pudding. Nice and easy. Then switching over to White. White's going to play that second eel. He doesn't want to happen what happened last time. He wants to be the main with the 2 eel. And so he plays a pudding and it goes onto his pile. And then we're going to swap, as you do in Sushi Go Party. Done. So, mathematically, White cannot earn the pudding, the maximum pudding. All White has to do is take 1 more pudding and he's done. So instead, he's not even going to bother. He's going to be like, you know what? Who wants pudding? I don't like pudding. And he's going to play the tofu instead. Meanwhile, red is going to play the only Miso Soup this hand. And back to white. Flip, flip. Trade. Trade. And take. Okay, each hand should have 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. I'm gonna play... I'm gonna play a soy sauce. I think that makes a lot of sense. Red doesn't have to rush and play this pudding. Until white takes at least 2 of them, he's not obligated to take any. He'd rather get the squid nigiri and the guaranteed 3 points. So, squid, soy sauce, swap, and swap. I need to double check how this soy sauce actually works. Okay, so whoever has the most and has played a soy sauce card. Because you had to play one to be eligible, but otherwise it does count both players. So I'm looking at this hand, and I'm asking myself, does it make sense to play the soy sauce just so that white can't have it? Or do I still have a chance, actually, at getting the most colors? I'm going to play this tofu. It's only worth 2 points, but it's a possibility to get shit done. Meanwhile, he's going to play the salmon nigiri to give himself another color. Okay, so he's going to flip and flip. And they swap hands. And red just committed a grievous tactical error. He's basically ensured that white either gets 8 points or no points. Because he's going to instantly flip over the soy sauce. That was kind of a boneheaded move. That might come back to bite us in the ass. Because something very, very bad is going to happen. Yes, he's going to get the tofu bonus, so that's great. That's 3 more points. But that's giving 8 points to red. Unless... No, because if you're tied for the most, you still get it. He'd have to actually have more, and dessert doesn't count. Oh, no, dessert cards played in the current round are counted, so dessert would actually count. That just means that white would have to play dessert, which he's going to get a chance to do. Because there's no way that red can stop him from playing at least one dessert. So, even though he can't win it, he's going to play a pudding because, let's face it, he wants to guarantee that 8 points, and playing a pudding is going to make sure that even if red is stupid enough to sabotage himself and play the eel, it wouldn't matter. So he's going to go ahead and play that salmon nigiri. Okay, I'm just going to play both hands open at this point because they're basically the same. So they're going to swap. Red's going to play a pudding because he has to. White's going to play the egg nigiri, which will then force... he'll get a pudding. And he'll have to play the eel. So, who had the most colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're tied, which is not great, except being tied for the most is also good enough for white to get their maximum points. That might be the game for them right there, but we'll see. So let's score the end of the round, and then we'll do the dessert scoring. So the only person with the person with the most uramaki is Red. Red is going to get the 8 points. Just like that. Red is going to get 3 more for Miso Soup. Red is going to get 5 for his nigiri. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 for his tofu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And -3 for his eel. 1, 2, 3. Coming over to White. White's going to get 8 points for soy sauce. So that's going to be 40 up to 49. He gets 3 points for nigiri. 1, 2, 3. He gets 2 points for tofu. 1, 2. He gets nothing for the uramaki because it's only 1 time, so it's worth nothing. And he gets 7 for his eel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. However, then Red gets to add another 6 points for having the most puddings. And that's going to be enough to give Red the victory. So even there was that huge mistake in letting White get both soy sauces, at the end of the day, getting both tofu really made a big difference, and also getting the miso soup. So that, my friends, is how you play Sushi Go Party. Please join me next week. We're going to be playing Tumbletown, a wonderful game where you build an Old West town using dice. And it's going to be great. Until next time, though, this has been Ev Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.